friend Tomie is dead.
Horror in anime and manga is nothing new. In fact, it's actually some of the most disturbing content visually and emotionally. While things like missing body parts or apparitions are normal, the psychological aspect can leave a lasting impression that gives you the feeling of being uneasy after. So where even years later, you're still thinking about that one story, and it'll never go away. And one such story is that of Tomie. Don't worry, she can't get you. She's in Japan. Also, a warning before continuing, the story gets super graphic and disturbing, so if you're a bit sensitive to that sort of thing, do not watch this. Welcome back, I'm Dusk. Now most of you have now been exposed to the art of mangaka Junji Ito, either by the manga, anime, Google Images, Hot Topic t-shirts. Yet out of all his characters, the one he seems to favor the most is Tomie, as it was his first, and Tomie herself is like a reoccurring nightmare, with the most recent media being Junji Ito's Maniac anime, in which a whole episode is dedicated to Tomie. And I don't know if anyone noticed, but it has the old TV aspect ratio and coloring to make it look like it was made in the 90s. But we'll get to that later, because while it's never stated how she came to be, the manga has been around for 30 years. "1987's Tomie is Junji Ito's first manga in Japan's monthly Halloween magazine, a Japanese magazine that featured horror shoujo manga and ended its run in 1995, but the manga continued. I think it's so cool that such a thing existed. Just look at all these covers. The character of Tomie is that of a woman who either appears as a high school student or young adult. She has a mole under her left eye that's one of her most important features. Essentially, that's how you know you're dealing with a Tomie. Now what makes her so terrifying? Several things actually. She's known to make men fall for her, but what's so bad about that? Besides possible financial ruin and potential blackmail, these men become so infatuated to an extreme level, possessed even, including trying to dismember Tomie because they love her so much. That's a little backwards, but okay. And other people as well, just like any of the most gruesome crimes in an emotionally suppressed Japan. On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 20. The first story starts with students at the wake of their classmate Tomie. Yes, she's already dead at the start of the manga. The story is told through the perspective of Tomie's best friend Reiko, and as class begins, Tomie reappears, with the whole class in shock after they just attended her memorial. This includes Tomie's teacher. We are then shown a flashback to the day Tomie died. She was confronted by her boyfriend Yamamoto after having an affair with the teacher, Mr. Tagaki, who slaps Tomie, causing her to lose her balance and fall off a cliff they're on, and she dies right in front of the class. Yamamoto wants to turn himself in, but Tagaki stops him. Instead, he has the boy stripped down and saw her limbs off. Ooh, that's a little much. While Tomie is still alive, this scene is really gruesome as they discuss what she ate for lunch because they cut through her large intestines. Okay, so now who's really the monster? Each of the 42 students and their teacher take a piece of Tomie to dispose of, with Reiko getting her heart and tossing it into the river, and implying Yamamoto took the head. We skip forward to Yamamoto and Reiko running away from their classmates as they try to confess their crimes to the police, but they are caught by the rest of the class who won't let them just run away. Suddenly, Tomie reappears, only to confront Reiko for being too close to Yamamoto, like she didn't already seduce the teacher. Reiko was able to escape and Yamamoto was driven mad. Later, Reiko has moved to another town by the sea. While walking on the beach, she spots the wrapper she disposed Tomie's heart in. Upon looking in the cave, she sees Tomie's body has grown back, thus spreading the pieces of Tomie all over. What's even more messed up is that her teacher Tagaki appears in other chapters of the manga. From here on, each chapter connects with more Tomie's growing after every incident, following the perspectives of the characters we meet along the way. I won't go into more of the chapters because you need to read this manga, which is available in a 700-page book. There is also Tomie Takeover that was included as part of the 2018 Junji Ito Collection anime release, where we follow Ryuto, a person who could transfer their mind into the body of another human. He meets Tomie and transfers into her body. This 3-chapter manga plays out like the movie The Hot Chick. After getting all the attention in Tomie's body, Ryuto finds out that it's not all as it's cracked up to be, as every man desires to kill Tomie, of course. After shutting themselves in to avoid men, Ryuto still falls for Tomie's curse, with thoughts of cutting himself to pieces, making more Tomies in the process. And it's really cool to see an updated version of Tomie by Ito, as it was the first chapter he's drawn for her in 18 years. The same year, her last manga appearance was in 2018's Suichi Possessed, where regular series brothers Suichi and Koichi meet 2 versions of Tomie, with the younger meeting the older Tomie, ending with the older brother Koichi under control of Tomie.
What was your name again? I didn't catch it.
Oh, that?
I suppose you can call me Tomie. But you will never meet another girl like me again, I can promise you that.
Now we get to the anime, simply titled Junji Ito Collection. It's a 12-episode series that adapts various stories from Ito's manga. In episode 9, The Painter, is the first time we get to see Tomie animated. The story begins in an art gallery, where artist Mori is already noticing Tomie.
She's certainly pretty at first glance, but if you look closely, she's got a really goofy face.
And of course, she can't help but be catty,
If you need a new model, why don't you just use me instead of her?
and insert herself into the job of a model. What a jerk. And after being the model, she doesn't like his painting.
This is a joke, right? You can't actually believe that this is a masterpiece.
Hey, what are you laughing at?
What are you, blind?
Which causes the artist to go mad and paint her again. Later, he finds out a fellow artist has been using Tomie as his muse and sculpture for his next show. Oddly enough, both artists are driven mad, with Mori killing the sculptor. Mori does get another shot at painting Tomie though. Tomie explains how she's always almost killed by men.
I've almost been killed by many men before. For some reason, it seems like everyone who falls in love with me eventually wants to kill me, to tear me apart. Isn't that strange?
Here, what do you think?
Props to Mori though for correctly depicting what she actually looks like, but like in every story, Mori goes mad and Tomie is hacked up.
And yet, even then, Tomie didn't die. Her cells reproduced, creating more and more flesh and bone.
But it's okay because she regenerates, creating more Tomies. The end.
Mori? Is that you?
Next are the two OVAs, Tomie 1 and Tomie 2. And yes, we finally get a direct anime adaptation of the first story in Tomie 1. And it's just so cool to see how a manga from this long ago has been animated,
My friend Tomie is dead.
while maintaining the look of the original art. I can compare it to seeing Death Note being animated for the first time after reading the manga.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I'm late.
Tomie?
And in this form, we can really get a clear picture of just how gruesome and violent the dismemberment scene is.
The large intestine is massive.
I think that's the sigmoid colon you've got there. While we're here, why don't we try to find the appendix?
Looks like she might have had lunch right before, maybe a sandwich?
Which is another huge problem in Japan too, as there are many cases of violent crimes like this. Here are 3 cases, with the most recent being the Sapporo story from this year. And also the whole class is doing as they're told by their teacher, with no one objecting,
I'm glad she's dead.
It's better this way.
as conforming to what the majority is doing is part of the culture, although this being an extreme case of that. It's not too far-fetched of an idea that this can actually happen. Tomie 2 adapts chapter 3 of the manga Basement,
My name is Reiko Mizutani.
where Tomie uses the name Reiko from the first story.
Did you actually believe that was my name? So gullible.
And skip ahead a little,
A little annoying, but I just love him to death. And he loves me even more.
Go away!
she gets killed by the boyfriend, has her kidney transplanted into the hospital patient Yuki, and grows out of the kidney while in her body.
Hello there. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Tomie.
Actually, there's a lot more to this part of the story, but you'll have to read the manga for that.
You can't get rid of me that easily, you dummy.
And the final adaptation is in 2023 Junji Ito's Maniac, Tales of the Macabre. This one adapts the chapter Photo, where high school student Tsukiko is caught by Tomie selling photos of male students.
Shooting and selling boys' photographs on campus.
And Tomie sets up Tsukiko into getting caught and suspended.
You can take as many pictures of me as you want, okay? Feel free to print them up and scatter them around campus.
These are great. I must admit, you really are pretty. Just like a model.
After developing Tomie's weird photos, Tsukiko scatters them to the whole school, like Tomie asked her to do, causing Tomie to become angry and making multiple attempts to take her life by using the boys at the school.
What are you staring at? Don't just stand there, do something! Get this horrific swelling off of me and burn it! Do it now!
With Tomie's 2 guy friends taking off her head because she asked them to help remove the other Tomie face that was popping out. The 2 boys walk away with Tomie's head, leaving Tsukiko with Tomie's corpse. Until it gets up and runs out. And like I said earlier, Tsukiko's story also continues in the manga if you're interested.
好きよ、サイガ君。
Now, if you're used to seeing Japanese films, Tomie adapts pretty well into live action. We won't go over all 9 of them, but here's an idea of how Ito's manga has been adapted into live action. The first film is 1998's Tomie. As soon as you start the movie, this happens. Followed by a scene of a young man carrying a bag and oh god, he's also seen feeding the head baby food while it's making baby noises. Little disturbing. The story follows Tsukiko, who is in an accident and can't remember anything. Yep, the same name as in the manga, and she's into photography. We learn that Tomie was killed by her classmate, and that Tomie was killed in another case. In fact, since the Meiji period, the name Kawakami Tomie has appeared as a murder victim, which is about 1860s Japan. While there's a few jump scares, the movie itself is pretty grounded. And really slow-paced, which is something common in Japanese film. Also, the detective here is pretty good, essentially having the whole thing figured out.
その肉体の一部からでも、これが殺人現場に遺体が残らない唯一の説明なんです。
Nothing like some red lighting and a wet umbrella to really make you feel uneasy. The movie hides Tomie's appearance throughout the movie like a monster, and of course, lots of death. Okay, now I'm scared of umbrellas. Also, the practical effects are really good. It's one of those movies that has several perspectives going on from the start, intertwining towards the end. I really like the direction in this part, where if you've read the manga, you can tell what the scene is in the flashback, making this film a sequel to the photo chapter of the manga. And this is exactly how a good adaptation works. It rewards the fans who support the new medium and gives more depth to new viewers.
これ覚えてる？あなたが学校中にばらまいた写真思い出したでしょ？何？化け物。
Holy shit, she remembers and she is pissed. And revenge is what she wants. Well, that was easy. Also, did you really have to get the head too? You could have just left it on. You know what happens by now. Ending with Tsukiko once again being left with Tomie's corpse. But like clockwork, way to stay on the budget giving Tomie only one outfit, and getting all cleaned up. And in the final confrontation, well, that was unexpected. And all things end well through the power of friendship, I guess. Oh, Japan. Tomie is destroyed like a kaiju. The final scene shows Tsukiko developing a self-portrait, only to reveal she now has a mole.
Oh, hi, Mark.
And hey, Tomie, ending the movie with one last twist. Just like Tomie herself, people's fascination with the character will always have her coming back, except QB. Yes, all it took was a failing American streaming service adaptation to finally end the madness. Actually, after that, the last adaptation was the episode of Maniac in 2023. But it's kind of funny that an American adaptation may be more effective than Fire on Tomie. Which is for the best because they probably would have named her something like Tammy and have one kid with an anime shirt to represent her Japanese origin. And that's just scratching the surface on the curse that is Tomie, but I think it's better to leave all the continuations and twists to experience for yourselves. For those of you that are interested, I'll link a page to where you can buy the manga. The Junji Ito Collection anime is on Crunchyroll, Maniac is on Netflix, and you can find most of the live action movies subtitled on YouTube for free. But I didn't tell you that. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to leave a comment. I try to reply to everyone I get. If you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, hi. While you're here, watch one of the shorts. They're pretty unique and a lot of work goes into them. And I'll see you all in the next video. Oh, wait. Okay, I wanted you all to meet my new friend who's helped me with this video. You can come in now. She says she's from Japan. Help her gather all my things and bury me in now my favorite colors.